I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. As you saw in the thumbnail or the title, I think I may have fixed my laptop, but I can't tell. I've been having a camera issue, so we're going to know in a minute or so. There we have somebody in the chat. Can you see me? So here's where I'm at. My laptop has been acting funny. Oh, look at that. Absent the mind, Matt. There you go. You can see me. How fantastic. That's cool. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to do a brief live stream. Here's what happened. My laptop was giving me this. It was saying I need to activate or engage the camera, which I never disengaged it. And I'm not sure how I engaged it, but I played with it last night for a while, and apparently I didn't do any damage. So everything is in boxes, man. I'm telling you. I wish I had a blood pressure cuff. I'd like to know what my blood pressure is right now. So I'm going to hang out with you guys just for a few minutes. I'm having a cup of coffee. Oh, man. This moving's a drag. Here's a weird thing. It's a drag for a number of reasons. I mean, I'm excited about it, but man, David Foy is my partner, man, and I'm going to miss hanging out with him every day. He's a great guy. Monk. I'm going to Monk. Good to see you, Monk Searcher. I'm going to miss all the people around here. The office is a great group of people, but I will be back a lot. So, because Foy and I have a lot of stuff we're working on. I feel for you, bro. When I moved, it just did something to me. Yeah, Drew. Brutal, man. Every time I move, I think about that. I talked about it before, but my dad sent me a clipping from a magazine where it said that next to the passing of a loved one, the most stressful thing a person can go through is a move. So everything is packed away except this. This is the only thing that's left out. And fortunately, it's small enough that I can take it on a plane and stick it in the overhead compartment, which I will. Windmill Willie, so good to see you guys. I tried to go live. I went live just a moment ago for just the bus pass, but nobody clicked on in the first couple minutes, so I decided I'd just go on the main channel. Main channel? Regular viewing. So, man, this is just such a drag. But it'll be good. I'll feel better tomorrow in the middle of the afternoon when I turn these keys over to the apartment and I'm done. I wash my hands of it. It'll be a good thing. I clicked on it, but you said you know what? I think Drew, you must have clicked on it right after I removed it. I think moving is kind of cool, Monk. No question about it, but it's stressful as can be. You know what I mean? I'm good at that. I'm good at starting over. I'm not really starting over. I'm just moving location. Windmill Willie, Godspeed, sir. Hope the move goes well. I do too. I know it will. So I'm going to be shooting. You're going to see videos now in 3 main places. You're going to see them from La Casa in Arizona. You're going to see it from Pennsylvania with Harvest 912, and when I'm back here at the office. So it's just going to add a few location shoots for it. I miss some. I think about it over the years, how many different spots I've filmed at. I think for those of you that were around when I was in Reno and I was filming in the zoo, that was a fun time. Those are some crazy. I had one video I did in the dark. I was doing. It was crazy. It was a really, really mellow, nice park. I can't remember the name of it. But at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, everything started to transition a little bit, and the normal people would start getting out, and the stranger people would start coming in. And if you went to that place at like 10 or 11, I swear to you, it was like a zoo. It was weird because during the day you'd walk around and they'd be around, but they'd be kind of hiding. And it was like a zoo. It's the strangest thing. And at night, it just got absolutely bizarre. And I was doing this video in the park. I did a tube of terror in the park in the middle of the night. I mean, it was like 3 in the morning. I had the camera set up, and this person came up behind me and scared me to death. And I said a bunch of things I shouldn't have said, so I couldn't upload the video. I was so bummed out because it was a cool video. Go figure. Jason P, good to see you. For those of you who just tuned in, I somehow figured out how to fix my laptop. It was giving me this error message where it said I had to engage the camera, which I never disengaged it. You know what I mean? But something happened. I think I know what happened to fix it. On Friday, I did a film shoot for a project I'm in, and filmed it here. It was just audio, some voiceovers, and they needed to access the internet, and they did it through my laptop. And maybe whoever was it, George was here. George, if you see this, thank you for your help, dude. You were great. Maybe George did something to it. I'm not quite sure, but now it works. So, Left Eye Pat, ooh, good to see you, dude. Rumor has it I may see you this weekend. Is it rumor? Is it true? What's going on? My coffee's cool. I like iced coffee and I like hot coffee. Middle of the road stuff's kind of nasty, but it's caffeine and I will drink it. Man, what a drag though. I'm so glad this is the last night I'm sleeping in this place. I've had some fun videos here. This has been a fun place to make videos. DJ Daddy-O. You know what? I was talking about you yesterday, DJ Daddy-O, with my brother. You know what? In fact, you need to email me at chasetheheat@gmail.com because I got 2 things that I dropped in videos. I said that you must not have seen the video because I said to my brother, nobody picked up. And he said, man, if anybody would, it would be DJ Daddy-O. So email me later. I'm going to tell you what videos they are, and you can tell me if you picked up on anything. Was that where you would sit by the river? Yeah, it was a cool place for videos. Yeah, DJ Daddy-O it was. I did one in the river. I did Tincture in the river once. I think I did a couple of videos actually in it. But that was funny. I scared people in that park. I remember one day I was walking to go set up, and I had a camera, so I'm not like a scary looking. Well, I guess I am scary looking, but I had a camera, so I had a purpose in the park. I had a bottle of hot sauce, and this woman saw me and grabbed her kid and pulled and scurried away. Is what it is. I did send you an email, by the way. I had to put oh, dude. I'm so sorry, Drew. We need to talk. I need to explain to you the gift I sent you because there is a really cool story behind it, how you ended up with it. Yes, you will. There goes the surprise. Oh, damn. Sorry, Left Eye Pat. I'll sneak up on you. You know I'm going to because I'll see you before you see me. I don't know how, but I'll make sure I see you before you see me. Oh, it makes me excited. Yeah, Drew, that's brutal, man. Here's the thing: people who don't have pets don't understand. They think, oh, it's just a pet. It's so not just a pet. Like I buried pets, like a decent burial. You know what I mean? Pets are family. Here's the weird thing about a pet: they spend just a portion of their life with you, but they spend their entire life. You know what I mean? For our life, it's just a little piece of time, but for their life, their entire existence is with you. That's brutal. I've had so many friends that have had dogs and they died, or cats, and they're like, "I'm never getting another one." And I'm like, "Give me a few months." And they usually, it's a knee-jerk reaction. I get it. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, Left Eye Pat. Balaki, my man. Good to see you, Balaki. Looking forward to you and Tommy hanging out in front of the camera. That's gonna be fun. It will be. Chippendo, unless you have a tortoise. I do not have a tortoise. I'm not going to go a whole long time. I just got a message. Somebody I have to call. It's move related. But I was hoping Bizzle was going to see this because I miss seeing Bizzle. I'll probably do another video later in the day. I might do one tonight. I don't know. This is weird. Oh, it's weird. Every time Drew says just paid $500 for commission. Remember, it's like, yeah, I get it, dude. I absolutely get it, man. I had a cat I had when I was a kid. I got it when I think I was 2. At the time, my dad had this secretary named Linda. I had this wicked crush on her. Loved her. Every time we go there, she'd like flirt with me and stuff. And once a day, my mom would call my dad when he was at the office. And she'd call and give the phone to me. And Linda would answer, and I would talk to her. I'm like, it's me. She would flirt with me on the phone, we talking, and she just loved me. She was a sweetheart. So when I got this cat, they got two. They were sisters. Um, my sister was a couple years older than me. Is a couple years older than me. So I named the cat Linda because I had a crush on Linda. I was the only person on the planet who had a cat named Linda. But my sister, she was young. She couldn't say kitty, so she would say Kiki. So they named her cat Kiki, and that cat lived to be I think 22, 21 or 22 years old. I was in college when they had to put her down. But my mom is a photo album nut. If you go to my house, there's stacks and stacks of photo albums. I think that's getting, everybody has their photo album on their phone now. There's something beautiful about sitting down with a book and looking through them. But anyway, there's a book just dedicated to Linda, and there are pictures of me when I was just a single digits, a kid. One, I'm feeding her, eating a lollipop, ice cream, and she's sharing it with me. But throughout growing up, my dad went to the prom, I went to college, all these pictures of the cat growing up. And when she died, I was in college. And Tommy called me to tell me. And I was destroyed. I felt so guilty that I wasn't there. She was one of the strange cats. She slept under the covers. She'd sleep under the covers right next to me. And that cat was just amazing. She had 9 lives. You know, they say cats have 9 lives. Lord Kissfree, good to see you, dude. This cat, we had my mother's brother, who's an eye surgeon, he and his wife, they were coming to visit one year. And it was wintertime. And in the wintertime, we had a big, big house. And we heated the house with wood. When you're heating the house, if you had a section of the house that nobody was in, you should wall that off so you don't have to heat the place for nothing. So she was going in there to make the bed and get everything ready for their visit. And while she was in there, the cat had snuck. Linda had gone in under the bed, and she didn't know. So she went in there and shut the door. It was a big house. So nobody heard her meowing. She was in there for we think it was 4 or 5 days. I mean, she was when this is an amazingly true story. When I get there with Tommy, he'll tell you because he was there with it. It's amazing. They came to visit. They arrive. We give them hugs and stuff. We take them up to their room. We open the door, and the cat flops on her side. And she was dehydrated and essentially dead. She was dying, bad. I swear it's a true story. He wasn't a surgeon. I don't know if he was a surgeon. He may have just been still in med school. This was a million years ago. And he said to my dad, everybody called him Moose. He goes, Moose, what kind of alcohol do you have? He goes, the strongest alcohol you have. And he goes, I have 151. He goes, go get me an eyedropper and that bottle of 151. And he took the 151 and took some eyedropper and got it and put it in her mouth and rubbed her chest. And I swear to you, that cat was only about maybe 10 when that happened. She made it come back and lived another decade. She came home one day. We lived in Vermont, and these are outdoor cats. They never once dumped in the house. The house never smelled like a cat. They just stay at the door when they needed to go back and let them out. And sometimes they wouldn't come back for days. And we lived on a ton of land. And it wasn't unusual for them to disappear for 3 or 4 days, 5 days. No one worried. They come back. It's their home. So my cat disappeared for a while. We didn't know what happened. And one day Linda comes back, and we go to pet her, and she had a stick stuck in her. It was broken off and stuck in her right in front of her right hip. It was embedded. It was still in her, like she was speared or something. I don't know how it got in her, but I almost thought somebody jabbed her with it. But we called the vet. The vet said, "Don't take it out. She'll work it out." So we did. We didn't take it out. She worked the stick. It was this big around. It was a branch practically, and it healed over. And she had this little triangular patch of fur that had no hair for the rest of her life. And that happened when she was probably. That may have happened even before she dropped dead in the other house. That cat had 9 lives. It was devastating when she passed. Guys are cute. Good to see you. It's a common issue with house cats. They reject water because of the desert traits they have. No, she never rejected water. She was just stuck in a portion of the house that had no water or food or heat. It was the wintertime. It was brutal. We're so glad she made it through that. My cat left and came back just long enough to drop her babies off to us. That's adorable, Joe. Want to hear the greatest cat story? I've told this on the channel. I'm going to tell it when I'm with Tommy because it's such a great story. The same guy, the doctor, this is early on. He was in med school. This is before either of the incidents. Before she dropped dead in the part of the house. This is before the stick got her in the hip. he comes to visit us, or he calls us and he says, I'm moving. He was going through his residency. He was moving to a different apartment in New York, and he couldn't have a dog in this apartment. And he had this Airedale Retriever, which it was the biggest thing. His name was Teddy. It was a huge dog, and just a big animal. He says he's old. I don't want to put him in a home or give him to somebody else. Can he come to your home? You have a couple hundred acres. Can he live out the rest of his days at your house? I know it's a lot to ask. And my mom, being an amazing woman, and more so, my dad being just wildly flexible, because he didn't want that dog there. He was a cat guy. But he said, sure, we'll take him. So, and I swear to you, I'm going to make Tommy tell the story. I swear it's a true story. So I had, at this time, the sister cat to my cat had already died. But we had a replacement cat, and that cat's name was Snooper. And she was a black cat with a white nose and white paws, and she was a cool cat. She had a funny attitude. Big cat and kind of mean. So the day they drive here from New York, they open the door, and this big Airedale Retriever comes out. It's in good health. It seems to be in good health. It came the day it arrived. Snooper ran away. She was done. My cat was just civil disobedience. She was mad at everybody and wouldn't let you see her. If the dog was in one part of the house, she was in the further part of the house, and she'd eat at night when the dog was sleeping. It was in the house, but we didn't see her. She was amazing how she just hid from us. But Snooper bolted. She was like, she bounced. She's like, I'm done. I'm not living with a dog. She was heated. So we had a dog for a while, and the dog, I think it was like, she went through a winter. The cat, we were worried about the cat. We'd look every once in a while. We'd look outside. It had this rock wall, because old Vermont land, a rock wall. Once in a while, you'd see her stick her head up, look at the house. We'd look at her. She'd duck it down. She was mad. She never, and I said, this is where the story gets weird. And I swear to you, on my salvation, this is a true story. The dog starts to die. I think it had distemper. I don't know what it was. It was just old, and it was dying. And it was like it was a Saturday morning. It had already gone through the winter. It was like springtime. And Teddy was dying. He was on the front porch. He had just almost fell down. He was laying on his side, panting, like taking his last breath. I swear to you, what I'm going to tell you right now is the truth. Snooper came around the corner. He was still breathing. He wasn't dead yet. She came around the corner and jumped over his body. Jumped over his body and stood at the door and meowed. We let her in. That's a true story. That is an absolutely true story. I don't know how long from the time we got him, Teddy, to the time Teddy died. I don't think it was a full year. I think we got him before. I think he probably was only like 6 months or so. That's what it feels like. But that cat was. It was very, very odd cat. I'm a cat guy, I really am. Losing my beagle Roxy was hard on me, DJ Daddio says. She was my hunting buddy, such a great dog. Had her as a pup through losing my mom and up to the birth of my 2 daughters. It's tough. It really is. Big cats of the Sahara in Africa, all small cats descend from them. It's true. You ever watch? There's a great video of they took a big giant box at a zoo that some equipment came in or something, and they put it in the tiger cage. And what do you think the tiger did immediately? Got inside the box, just like cats. And catnip works on most big cats, but not all of them. Look what I found while I was moving. I don't know if you can see it. This is a jade thing I got from Clint Meyer in New Zealand. It's a kind of a superstitious thing. They say it gives you good luck. I believe in hard work brings good luck. But it was really cool when I was there when he gave this to me. He goes, "You got to dunk it in New Zealand water to make it work." I'm like, "Whatever, dude. Let's go to the river." So we went hiking off his land. I mean, I thought we were going to walk 100 yards and dunk this in the river, like this way. We walked a mile into the woods, treacherous stuff, up and down. We finally get to this river, and it's a beautiful, most gorgeous river. As I'm standing there, I'm thinking, no other human being has ever seen this spot right here. I just felt like that. I was probably wrong, but it felt like that. So I laid on this rock and leaned forward until the thing dunked in the water. It was a cool picture of it. But I lost that until yesterday, and I found it. It's actually very, very pretty. I'm not a jewelry guy. Would you consider a necklace jewelry? I think if it's gold, it would be jewelry. I don't think this is jewelry. My oldest daughter was firstborn. We laid her on her bed. She started fussing. The dog jumped on the bed and curled around the baby. Wow, that's amazing. I had a funny story. My first son was born. We had a dog it was a Cocker Spaniel. I don't remember the dog's name. My wife's family made us take it. And I did what my dad did. Okay, we'll do it. So we took this dog, and she was pregnant out to here, and she had the baby. And the day he spent a week and a half or so in ICU because he had some issues when he was born. But when we brought him home, we was in this bassinet. We put him on the table. We just sat there and looking at him. The dog comes around and I've never heard the dog do anything but kind of look at you and wiggle her tail. She growled like she was. I've never seen anything like it. We had family that was there. She's like, back in a minute. She came back like an hour later with no dog. That was strange. I mean, that was the strangest reaction to an animal, that baby I ever saw. That was unusual. But I'm an animal guy in general. I love all animals. When I was a kid, I think every kid has this crazy fascination with dinosaurs. Put a 1 in the chat if you were a kid and you went through a dinosaur stage. You were like, holy crap, these things were alive. And so I went through a dinosaur stage, and my kid's mom and I, Jason P, went through a dinosaur stage. DJ Daddy-O did too. You know why? When you're a kid, you have these big books. We went through that. Kids now don't. Boy, what a weird, they're missing so much. What a weird time to grow up. It's really funny. I remember being a kid, hearing my dad say, like, when he was a kid, it was a simpler time, and there were better days and simplicity of life. And I remember thinking, what is he talking about? Here, young kids watching, if there are any young people here, you're going to go through it. When you're 50, there's going to be some technology that you go, what? And your kid's going to have to figure it out like that. And he's not the one's going to teach him. He's just going to figure that crap out. It's amazing. There's some dinosaur fans. I'm still at that stage. That's why I keep reptiles. I bred, my kid's mom and I, we bred boa constrictors for several years. A lot of years. It was cool. In fact, here's a crazy thing. Somebody that watches the show heard me talk about that. He goes, I knew I liked you when you talked about snakes. And I got my first snakes that I ever got, breeding snakes, really high dollar ones, I got from a guy in Maryland named Peter Call. And I spent a fortune. A stack of money that big. And we only bought like 5 snakes. It was like $20-something thousand. Excuse me. For the albino, no, it was more than that. The albinos were $7,000 a piece. And I bought 3 of them. I had 2 females and a male. I had a striped, I had anathyristic, hypomelanistic, all these cool color phases, and we bred them. And it's fun breeding snakes, but it's an ungodly amount of work. And you know what? When you work with snakes, you're gonna get bit sometimes. I got bit a lot of times. You never get used to that. It's never a fun thing. But it was really weird. He knew Pete. I was like, no way, that's strange. That was a fun thing. I went down there. I got to hand select which specimens I wanted. I suppose if you're dropping that kind of dough, you should be able to. Never went through a dinosaur stage. Planets and aliens. I can see that. I remember being a kid getting the crap scared out of me thinking about space. Even now, if I think about space, it gives me the willies. It really does, man. Just how big it is. It's terrifyingly big. Like terrifyingly big. Gives me the willies, man. So, and what happens to me all the time at night? Oh, Chip Indo. That's the dude who's talking to me about Pete. How funny. Sorry, Chip. I didn't realize it was you. Very cool. Yeah. That's hysterical. You want to hear a terrible story? People are going to give me a hard time about this. I'm not going to say it. It would definitely give me a hard time. I'm not going to say it. But it was fun making some cool, if you think about it, like a albino, to create, like albinos don't last in nature. It has nothing to do with weak or anything like that. They just stand out like Wednesday in the middle of the week, and predators poach them off quicker. But they're healthy as a horse. There's no difference as far as the health of them. So if you had an albino and a striped boa, it's a recessive trait. I don't know if it's a dominant recessive. When you breed them, you got to take those babies, raise them up, and breed them back together in order to produce. And the likelihood of that happening in nature, where these two get together, have babies, they get together down the road out in nature, is so rare, that it's so unlikely that would happen. We were able to create things that probably couldn't really, I shouldn't say couldn't, really unlikely to happen in nature on its own. And that was really, really fun. Used to have snakes, but my mom and dad didn't like it. And they would get loose in the house, though. Drew, it's funny. This is the last story. Metal Maniac, good to see you, dude. This is a lot. And story time with Uncle Bill. You've had some great videos lately, dude. This is the last story I'm going to tell you about. We had a buddy, Tommy and I had a buddy named Nathan, and we used to. This is at a big party stage of my life, so we were partying a lot. And he owned a business, and we had a business, and we were people run our business. We were just never there. We treated it really irresponsibly. But he had this guy wanted to buy. He bought a boa constrictor. This is way before I ever got into breeding them, but I still loved him. And he had this baby boa. It was a red tail boa. It was a Colombian, but it was like, it's a teeny little thing, super docile, cute snake. And he had it for a while. And the first weekend he had it, we're gonna have a feeding, and everybody's gonna come and watch. So we went to his house. Everybody's partying our skulls off, and he dropped this mouse in this tank, and we looked at it. And the snake just didn't do a thing. Mouse is walking up, sniffing him, walking on his back. I mean, there's no interest whatsoever in this mouse. And he did a stupid thing. He goes, "I'll just leave it in there," which is a really bad thing to do. You can't ever do that because a rat will kill a snake, and mice will kill they're brutal. They'll chew through the spinal cord. Snakes are not violent. They're violent when they eat, but they're not a violent creature at all. The only thing that looks like violence is them eating. They're not like some animals will attack things for the sake of attacking things, and that's not a snake. Anyway, so the next day we wake up. We all partied at his house and crashed there. The next morning we wake up, and the snake is gone, and the mouse is still in the cage. It's true. So there's like half a dozen of us go on this mad search throughout the guy's house. We're looking at every nook and cranny, under the couch and the seat cushions for hours. We finally find the snake, and then he puts the mouse back in a little cardboard box. He puts the snake back in the cage, and we're like, he's not hungry, dude. Give him a week or two, and he'll be hungry. So we get a little time go by. He goes, "Hey, we're having a feeding this weekend." So we go back to his house. We party, and he drops this mouse in the cage, and the snake just sits there. The mouse sniffs him. "Hey, it's you again. How you doing? Haven't changed." Walks all over him. I'm like, "Dude, your snake is not hungry." So he did the same thing. He left him there. We all night watching TV, playing video games, and the next morning we get up, and the mouse is gone. Well, the snake is gone, and the mouse is still in there. He goes, "Forget it. I'm keeping the mouse." We looked for the snake and never could find him, and he kept that mouse as a pet. That's my last pet story. That's Nathan. Nathan's never going to see this, but if by some chance you do, I hope you're well. You're a madman. I love you guys. I'm glad I had this thing figured out. The video. Here's the thing. I'm a huge giant snake fan, but in Australia, you got to assume that every single snake wants to kill you and your family. So you got to be careful. That's funny, Joe. It's so crazy you say that. I used to feed my red-tailed boa live white mice. I ate so many you would not eat one certain mouse. That's funny. Yeah. I wonder if I should tell that story. I have so many stories, but here's the weird thing. It's terrible. You got to think, dance in the line of what you can say, what you can't say. It's weird. As a content creator, I was talking about this yesterday. Who was I talking about? As a content creator, it's almost like there's this feeling you get. No one really talks about it. It's like you want to do the best you can, make compelling content that people like until somebody decides to cancel you. That's what it seems like. So anyway, I love you guys. I'm glad I got this thing fixed. I'm going to go live. Listen, count on it. I'm going to go live tonight since it appears I've got the live stream thing sorted out. Count on a live stream tonight. How long have we been doing this? 20 minutes. I haven't felt the stress for the last 28 minutes. That's the truth. I'm starting to feel it right now. I know I'm going to end the stream. Galactic Starbunny, good to see you. Love all you guys. Antoni G. Anyway, you guys are all awesome. I appreciate you very much. Star Wars Ladybug, good to see you. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later tonight. Have a great day. George Hammond, good to see you. Greg Hammond. Please have a good day. Tell someone you love them. You guys have a great day. I'll see you this afternoon. I'm Johnny Scoville. Let's chase the